Someone was unhinging the casita's front door. My little piece of paradise was being torn down. "Are those surfboards for sale?" someone asked. "Everything is," I said, and then turned around. An albino gringo wearing a camouflage bush hat had his hand on the shoulder of a very pale boy. Or maybe it was the zinc sunblock. They were both covered in it. For the last 3 days, I'd been having a yard sale, and it looked as if these guys might be my first paying customers. They were searching through a stack of old surfboards I'd dragged out of the bodega. "I want my kid to learn to surf," the gringo said. "Lucky kid," I said. "There's a wave storm in that pile." "But not on a foamy," he said. "He's going to need a real board." I tried not to shake my head and just smiled instead. "What about this one?" his kid asked. The pale boy had already dug his way to the bottom of the pile, and he was holding a surfboard that I had inherited from an ex-pro surfer I used to know. It was the board my son had learned to surf on. "Is that a Town and Country?" the dad asked. I nodded. Town and Country Surfboards was a big deal Hawaiian brand, and the board of choice for a lot of guys who rip the North Shore. "It's a Glen Pang," I said. "He's a shaper." "I know who Glen Pang is," the dad said, not with any attitude exactly, but it was clear that he wanted to let me know that he knew. "That guy made incredible boards." "He still does," I said. "How much do you want for it?" "It's not for sale." "I thought you said everything was for sale," the boy said. He looked like he was about to cry, and his dad took the board from him. It was missing a fin, but I could see by the way this guy was holding the board that he appreciated it. "That board's for free," I said. "You're giving away a TC Pang?" the dad said. He was pretty astonished. "Yeah, I am," I said. "How do you like that?" "I do," he said. I could see that he thought there might be more to this story. And he was right. It was mid-August and a couple of years before the golf course designers and condominium contractors devoured the peninsula, back when the future didn't feel so close and corn tortillas still counted as a health food. We were walking through the jungle after an early session at Gagger's. I had my red fin under my arm, all 24 pounds of it, and Windsor was balancing the 6'2" TC Pang on his head. Our feet were covered in mud to the ankles. The narrow trail was slick. It was hard to walk. "Come on, Pirata. Let the boys get ahead of us," Windsor said. "They'll attract the mosquitoes." "Jesus Christ, Windsor," I said. "They're your kids." "They're Megan's kids," he said and shrugged, as if he barely knew his current girlfriend. "The kook mix is, anyway. The other one she inherited from an ex. But no way that makes them my kids, even if the ex is dead." "Did you kill him?" "Nah," Windsor said. "I can't even remember if I ever met him." You could see what was left of Windsor's big wave conditioning rituals. He still had those epic shoulder caps and a chest about 2 feet thick, but most of it had been covered up with an inch of fat because of all the street tacos and beer. Lots of beer. Even now, he had a can of Tecate jammed into the back pocket of his board shorts, and he was swigging from another one in his left hand. I'd never seen Windsor without a beer or some kind of a buzz. "But I'm not saying it's impossible," he said. "It's in me to kill a guy like that." Gagger's is a right-hand point break that used to be called sewer pipe because the locals had the pipe stopped up with concrete, which caused it to rupture and permanently saturate the sand with raw sewage. No matter how many times that pipe got flushed out or a hurricane swell reshaped the beach, it still stank like hell. It was an unbearable gag-making kind of stink, the kind you'd get at a rendering yard. But if the waves were good enough, it got to be that you didn't mind. The shit smell was worth it because it kept the lineups thin. Surfers will paddle into waves just offshore from a nuclear power plant if they think the radioactive waste will keep the tourists and kooks away. If someone could bottle the stench at Gagger's, they could sell it as crowd control. Cash